Hi everyone, welcome back to Golf Yap. I'm Megan and I post about all things golf from the POV of a newish golfer. Thanks for being here today. If you do hear any meows throughout the course of this video, don't be alarmed. It's just that Remy has decided that she needs to be right here, right now. We're gonna let her do that because that's kind of just how cats work. I'm actually also really excited to be filming this right now because the sunshine is hitting my disco bowl in the most perfect way right now. If you're new here, I hope you enjoy today's content and consider subscribing to my channel. And if you've seen any of my content before, welcome back. Thanks so much for your support. Today's topic is an overview of my golf swing journey. This is a topic very near and dear to my heart because one of my goals for 2024 was to improve my golf swing. And so I have been spending a ton of my free time practicing and practicing and practicing some more, in addition to taking lessons. I was starting to get really frustrated with golf last year. I was finding that I was just so inconsistent with my shots. I'd be chunking, then I'd be thinning. I had very little control over what I was doing. I decided it was time to really focus on taking some lessons. I actually had taken very few lessons since starting golf about 3 years ago. At the start of this year, I crowdsourced friends and others I knew who played golf to kind of figure out what the best direction might be for lessons. I knew I wanted one-on-one coaching moving forward, and I ended up taking a swing analysis at Golf Tech and really clicked with my instructor from that first lesson. So it was kind of a no-brainer for me to sign up for more lessons from there and continue to work with him. And I've now been working with him since early April. I saw so many improvements during that time, but I will say it was very difficult to manage with also playing golf regularly and expecting to see my scores lower because for a while they didn't. I became so inconsistent with all that we were changing. If you are going to be doing something similar, acknowledge that up front. It'll save you a lot of mental energy down the road. Eventually, about mid-year, I did end up shooting my lowest round ever, which was 98. It was super exciting because I think a goal for a lot of newer golfers is to finally break triple digits and get into double digits. Doing that felt like a huge achievement, and I definitely attribute meeting that goal to all the hard work I was doing at Golf Tech with my coach. And hint, hint, it's October now, so it is a perfect time to start diving into improving your swing if that's something that's on your to-do list. Depending on where you live, you might be coming up on a period of time where you're not able to play as much golf or play at all. And so it'd be an excellent time to start implementing some of those changes. And then maybe you'll be able to bypass some of that frustration I saw. But in the grand scheme of things, things are really starting to click. I really recommend if you decide to work with a coach or get lessons somewhere that you are very judgmental of the person you decide to pay. Elijah, my coach, is so patient. He always thinks of a new way to frame something or a new drill to try if I'm not getting something. He holds me accountable, which is really important, and that's one of the biggest reasons I wanted to work with a coach. If you're paying someone, you should like working with them. If you're not seeing progress, be realistic with yourself. Are you actually putting in the practice time? Are you going to practice but just hitting as many balls as you can? Those are two very different things. You have to be intentional with your practice to see improvements, and hopefully you can find a coach who will hold you accountable to that. And that's, of course, if you want to work with a coach. You don't have to. If you want to improve your swing, it's just what has worked best for me personally. Now, I mentioned that things are starting to click, and what I mean by that is the mechanics of the golf swing make a lot more sense to me. If I start slicing the ball, I'm much more able to now know why I'm doing that and then make a change in my next swing to fix that. Not always, but more often than before. I've also seen a lot of other really cool improvements, like my club speed. I think I was swinging at like 59 miles per hour when I started at Golf Tech, and now I'm seeing swing speeds in the mid 70s and even in the 80s. I have also seen improvements to my scores as well. So my lowest score at the end of 2023 was 102. My lowest score so far in 2024 is 98. And I really think I have a lower score in me. I think at least 95. I've just been struggling a bit with my mental game and then with having the consistency needed to shoot that score. All right, so the moment of truth. Let's take a look at some of my swings over the year. So we're just gonna start with earlier this year. So that swing had to go. It wasn't very conducive to good ball contact. I was very upright. I had really only hip rotation, no chest rotation. So lots of things going on in there. Let's look at a more recent example of my swing now. You'll see that my backswing has been shortened up quite a bit. We must have worked on that for ever. There's so many changes here. I think even without me going into all of the details, it's very apparent to see that improvements have been made. Let's talk about some key learnings and tips I've picked up during this whole swing improvement process. My number one tip to any golfer who wants to improve their swing is take a deep breath and acknowledge that there is not going to be a quick fix. Despite what social media is telling you, despite what a coach who just wants to sell you lessons will tell you, there's no quick fix. In fact, you might change one thing and then end up with new issues to work through, and that's just how it works. Number two is to take video of your swing. I know it can feel a little weird or embarrassing to video yourself in public. One of the hardest things about golf is that it's in public all of the time, unless you're a lucky person who has a simulator in your house, in which case, can I come over? Anyways, no one's gonna care that you're videoing yourself. And if they do, they can honestly go F off. The other day I was at the range and I saw a teenager using his grandpa as his tripod. Literally gave his phone to his grandpa, said, sit like this, hold the camera like this, stop when I do this, the whole thing. And video helps hold you accountable, and it makes it impossible to ignore what's actually going on in your swing. Number three, Google YouTube some pros, some other golfers, and watch slowed down versions of their swings. And then watch a slowed down version of your swing and note where the differences are. If you look at someone else's swing, you're going to start noticing what a more efficient swing looks like, and that might help you then interpret what changes you need to make to your own swing. Number four is going to be work on one thing at a time. And I know that this is going to be hard because you're going to want to change everything at once. Focus on one thing at a time. Acknowledge that it's going to bring other things up, and that's just how it's going to be. And then number five, be brutally honest with yourself during practice. This is something I've had to own up to recently. Listen, it's super fun to go to the range and hit a ton of balls as hard as you can and see how far they go. But that is not going to help you improve your swing, unfortunately. You need to be intentional in your practice and make yourself go through the motions over and over and over and over until you're sick of it, and then over and over and over again. And then hit a bunch of balls as far as you can. That's your reward. All right. That's all we have time for today. Thank you again for joining me. Hopefully you liked today's video. If you did, I hope you'll subscribe to my channel, Golf Yap, again, where I share all things golf from the POV of a newish golfer. If you have any questions, if you want to share your own story of improving your swing or your golf journey, please do in the comments. I would love to hear from you. And again, thank you for your support. Have a great rest of your day. Hopefully wherever you are, it's still warm enough to play golf. And if not, I hope that there is a simulator somewhere close to you. Bye.